Hi everyone, I'm Gaby Sedra, President of GoLEANit Lean Services and Solutions, and I'm here to personally invite you to our first event this Wednesday, January 24 at 12 p.m. So please register in the link below. We're going to discuss a very important topic about how to build a continuous improvement organization, an organization that fosters continuous improvement in its culture, that reaches sustainable and scalable business results. Now, this is for everybody who's serious for making improvement, individuals, teams, or organizations. See you all this Wednesday, January 24 at 12 p.m.
Go lean it. 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 We're about to start, everybody. GoLEANit presentation is about to start. Please be patient. We're about to start. Please be patient.
Hello, everyone, and welcome with us to How to Build a Continuous Improvement Organization, session led by Gaby Sedra. We appreciate all you guys taking some of your time. So good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are on the globe. I heard that we have some people from the UK as well online with us. So allow me to please walk you through what the agenda is going to look like and introduce your speaker for the day, and we'll let him launch. So if you can go to the next slide, please, Gaby. So you guys saw the nice little intro that Gaby did at the beginning, which I thought was really hilarious. So we'll have a 5-minute just to introduce and give a quick introduction of the host and of the company. Then we'll talk about continuous improvement, the why, what, how, and where. We'll have a question and answer period to try to answer a lot of your questions. And then the last 5 minutes is how you can connect and how you can benefit from being part of Gaby's network. Right. So next slide. So let me introduce to you guys your host for the day. Someone who's very dear to me, as you could tell from our last names. He is my brother. So Gaby founded GoLEANit. Gaby's been in the Lean Six Sigma, continuous improvement, operational excellence for over 17 years right now, working for Fortune 100, Fortune 500, from the Pratt & Whitney Canadas of the world, Bell Helicopters, Analogics. His resume is quite big. You can Google him or check him on LinkedIn. He's an industrial engineer by trade from Concordia University. He's got a master's black belt in Lean Six Sigma, Prosci change practitioner, agile leader, strategy and execution. I think he's led over 500 different Kaizen and Kaikakus in various companies, from aerospace, med devices, electronics companies. He is my brother, a son, a husband, a father, a servant, and a big basketball fan. So if you're into basketball, you can chit chat with him about it. Gaby will talk more about GoLEANit as we're going in, but GoLEANit as a company has services and solutions. You can go to goleanit.com to learn more, to get more in depth. And a big part of the presentations, once you go through the actual solution and the value added information that Gaby will give you today, he'll do a deeper dive into what are the services and what are the solutions. Please help me welcome Gaby Sedra, your host. Gaby, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Malik, and thank you everybody for being here. It's really an honor to have you. GoLeanit is fresh and it's getting started and needs everybody to be a part of this exciting beginning life. So we're gonna do some role playing. Basically, I'm gonna give you a scenario. In this scenario, there's gonna be the sponsor, which is a character of a leader. Her name is Jackie. She's going to be advocating change and advocating change for a soccer league for those outside of America, football. Then there's going to be practitioner is going to be the coach, a sort of a coach, the person responsible for bringing change in the soccer team, the football team. And then there's the learner, who is the individual interested in participating in change. And that's just like the participant, the player who's playing on the soccer team. Just a quick show of hands from the people on the call. Who is more into the sponsor side? Who's more, if you guys could just use your the hand or the thumbs up, who's more sponsor? All right, we got JP, which is more like a leadership position, someone that can advocate change in the organization, can communicate it. Monica as well. I see that. Malik, if you see any other people, I know Malik as well is that. Okay, so we got two people who are kind of in an organization and are the communicators. Who else did you see?
There was Nader, but I think he still has it up.
Okay. And then we got practitioners who in the organization is tasked with the responsibility of actually making the change or coaching the people in the organization, and that's a part of their role. So we got Matt, I see. Who else do we see? AA. Okay. Malik, do you see anybody else?
There's Michael as well.
Mike. Spawn. Okay. Okay, and there's Michael. Okay. And there's Monik. Okay, perfect. And then the rest, which I think should be everybody else, is everybody that is involved in change, which, people who are interested or a part of it. So I would assume the rest of the people on the call that I can't see right now should be raising their hands. Change insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And we're all about doing the opposite of that. And we believe in really experimenting and changing constantly. This is just a animation. We see this often in organization. I've seen it throughout my career. Everybody wants change. Who wants to change? Not everybody's sure that they themselves want to change. And once you mentioned who's ready to lead change, you got absolutely nobody in the room. So it is a tough task. It is a challenging task to be, bringing change to an organization. It's very commendable, but definitely it's not an easy task to do. But why are we doing this? I mean, why am I here? Why am I starting off with this topic? Well, because it's all about people. And I really think that there is not enough energy put in putting the people at the center, first of all, and developing the people to be at their full potential. And to develop that continuous improvement organization, you must have that as the number one priority. Everybody needs to be engaged into this organization, and the best way to develop people to reach their full potential is developing their problem-solving capabilities. And on top of that, if you do develop your employees' problem-solving capabilities, then guess what? You improve the value you provide to your customer. Isn't that wonderful? So you please your customer, but in the same time, you retain your employees and they're engaged. So it's a win-win situation. And so continuous improvement organization wants to make people as engaged as possible on a daily basis. So we call it everybody, every day doing continuous improvement. Now, for the rest of this presentation, I'm going to be giving you guys a scenario where I want you guys to think of something, okay? You know, we got the soccer team / football team, and I want us to get away from work for a bit. Let's just think of our day-to-day lives and take an example that's, you know, very relatable that we can all think through. You got a local team and, you know, someone that's responsible, Mrs. Jackie. She's got to figure out something. All she's thinking about is how to make this local team stand out like no other team. And she's been really struggling because really nobody really notices that Springfield team, right? Springfield has not been performing. And so she's just trying to dream of that ideal place. So we need to think of some measures. What kind of measures do you guys think would define success for a team that can grow year over year? What should she put as certain numbers that she would like to strive for year over year? Now, this is the part of the presentation where I would like you to unmute and just yell out a few things. There's no order, so you don't have to raise your hands, just yell it out. The more engagement, the better, guys. So just tell me, what would you think? You're helping Jackie out here, who is the sponsor, and she needs to think out of a direction of how do we expand that team.
How about the goal differential, plus or minus goal differential for the team?
Yep.
Yep. So let's
Yes.
say score differential. So basically, let's keep track of scores. We're going to keep it very simple, okay? So year over year, we need to track scores. What else do we need to track?
Getting better players, maybe.
Yeah, the players, definitely recruitment is definitely one that we can track. Okay.
Matt Smith says league position.
Leagues, positions, yeah, right?
So they're basically their position
Number
in
of
the
red
league.
cards.
Yeah, they're the position in the league.
Yeah.
Let's just say position for now. Let's just use a few words. Okay. What
Can I?
else you guys think? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Shireen, by the way.
Hey, Shireen.
Hi. I
Hey,
think
good
you
to
have
have
to
you.
prepare well her project, then communicate with the partner to influence them to start the new idea or
Yeah.
to implement what she want. Then to go and find all the resources she want, or maybe anticipate the obstacle they will have, or something like that.
Very good. So I think you summed up a lot of different things, but I would maybe just put it in one word, like expansion, right? So just, you know, expanding their team and the capacity of the overall team. Right. What is it that we're trying to accomplish? Well, we want to create a systemic way to bring improvement, and for those 3 P's all at once. We want to make sure that the people are developing, our processes are developing, and that we're setting a very good purpose for the organization. Now, all of these simultaneously working together are going to help us meet those, you know, those measurements that we all striving for, those business results. And it's when you have them all working together, that is when we achieve what GoLeanit likes to describe as the symphony of efficiency. Now, in today's world, we have no choice but to adapt quickly to change. It's no longer a nice to have. Continuous improvement is the way to go. I mean, we need to create this by having experimentation, new ideas, and quickly, you know, implement change, because it's such a competitive world out there that there is no other options to do anymore besides to do that. So in order for us to do this, we're going to build a foundation. Now, in this foundation, we talked about the people, the process, and the purpose. People is we want to enable and empower our employees to act like owners in their part of the business. Now, when we say we want to enable and empower our employees, we really want to develop the employees to become the best problem solvers. Now, one thing that's just a quick fact is when people join an organization few months later, as they sink into the role and they start getting comfortable, their level of potential or so on diminishes, right? And they become like they're utilizing almost 20% of what they're capable of doing. Now, the way that science have demonstrated is by in bringing in good problem solving methodologies. This helps you ignite this and makes people become better and better. So we want to make sure we really ignite people to the best we can and giving them the freedom to innovate and grow. Now, in processes, we want to institutionalize continuous improvement in all the processes. We want to have processes that evolve, that strive from, constantly being reviewed, examined, and improved. Now, to do that, it's very important to make sure we have all the processes being reviewed, because if you know another fact, that 90% of processes out there in all the organizations have have non-value added activities. So 90% of the activities and processes out there are non-value added. That means they're creating waste, they're inefficient, and they're not adding value to the customer at the end of the day. So that's something that we want to strive for. And the purpose is we want to align everyone to strategic priorities and execute with this. We want everybody to strive to a common goal in the organization. Now, with these combined, we're going to build something. Now, to build this continuous improvement organization, you need 3 layers. You need 3 things that you need to build. You need a foundation of tools. Now, tools are also referred to as a common language, a way of speaking in the organization, enterprise-wide, wherever the organization is, where we talk about problem solving, but everybody understands what we're talking about. We use the same language for problem solving in the organization. We can call that a framework, right, for problem solving. Second is we want to have a layer of system. Now, systems can be broken down into workflow systems, but it also can be in management systems. Systems is a different way of saying exercising, right? How do we practice problem solving on a day-to-day basis? How do we practice improvement on a daily basis? That is what begins to have system, a routine, rigor in the organization. And principles is basically having the guidance to make things in the culture, bring things and embed them, institutionalize continuous improvement in the culture, in the behaviors of everyone in the organization. So if we look quickly at the definitions of each one, and again, this is very fundamental to what is a continuous improvement organization. So if we start with element 1, principles, okay, let's think of the sponsor. What should keep the sponsor up at night? What should they be thinking about? Well, the first thing is, what are the core ideas and guidelines that organizations should follow to achieve that continuous improvement culture? How can I have a culture of continuous improvement? So, Monica, JP, from the 2 people that I remember mentioning that they are leaders in their organization. Well, a part of being that leader, you need to think of, well, how can I make that organization a continuous improvement, culture? And the key points, well, you need to find out as well, what are the guidelines and standards that you want to set in the organization for improvements, right? What are those behaviors that will emulate, good improvement in the organization that is worth being recognizing others for, and sending encouragement for others to be innovative in the organization? And you want to emphasize on having a culture that emphasizes on people. You want, in other words, it's you want to make sure that they're developing your people, but also having a learning organization and allowing people the freedom to experiment. Now, these guidelines, you need to have them written down. And if I look at, if I share with you, for example, Toyota. Toyota is very known for all of these continuous improvement initiatives. But if I had to communicate to you in layman terms, what is their guiding principle across the organization? Well, basically, they want to embed the behaviors of everyone, always make things better. They want everybody to make things better all the time. And they want to make sure everybody always works in teamwork. Just the right amount of work. Don't deliver more or less. Make sure you deliver what's right. Fix the mistakes quickly. Be respectful and humble towards others. So when they repeat this communication, when the sponsors communicate it in every communication they do, this starts to embed in the organization, and therefore it makes everybody wanting to participate in this type of action. Now, let's go back to our soccer example. Like, the Springfield soccer team, right, needs your help. So Jackie needs your help. Let's list a few principles. What would she want to communicate on a daily basis? How would she want to recognize people in, players, coaches, referees, whenever they do something good? Based on what statements can we put that can, encourage the type of improvement in a soccer field, a soccer team? So let's give a few examples based on what we talked about.
Maybe team spirit. So try to
Yeah,
push
exactly.
team spirit.
Yeah, so this is important because you're going to be repeating that constantly. And when someone acts, Malik, in a good team spirit, what are you going to do?
Try to
So
collaborate and find ways to engage with the team, which can help us lead to a win eventually.
So exactly, and when they do act in a good team spirit, you will recognize them.
Absolutely.
Right? And if they do the opposite, then you won't. So you'll be able to identify what's good behavior versus not so good. All right. Another example.
Well, it comes in hand with what Malik said, but it's teamwork. Teamwork. You can't really get anything done without teamwork.
Yeah. So exactly. So we want them to solve problems as a team. We want them to resolve it together. We don't want people to be working individually on things. So good collaboration. Very good, Monica.
Right. So maybe having the entire team have regular presentations on progress.
Yeah. So
toward.
yes, exactly. So how about maybe saying proactive participation for presentations or so on.
Yeah, encouraging people to share their best practices in
Oh
terms
yeah,
of
yeah, exactly. So that would be good. So encouraging sharing best practices. Okay, so that's what we want. We want lessons learned in the organization. We want people to share and so on. Does anybody else have anything else? Thanks, GP, for that.
Reward a winning attitude.
Yeah.
So we spoke about goal differential at the beginning of the meeting. So by setting KPIs, like some sort of bonus for goals scored, or a bonus for an assist, or a bonus for a good defense.
Yeah.
Is underscore.
Very good. Very good. So I'm hoping everybody got it's supposed to be simple. This is kind of how we would need to think of it. Now, even though we're coming up with our own kind of principles for the soccer team, there are standards that exist. You know, there are benchmarks that exist. There are like Toyota was leading the way in certain, you know, in continuous improvement. There is the Shingo standard. Shingo is an institute for you know, assessing cultures and organizations. But in the same time, there is a major value in being able to customize or adapt the principles according to, you know, the vision of the organization, the vision of the sponsors. Okay, element number 2A. So we talked about the first part is principles, second is systems. Now in systems, we can break it down into management systems. We can also break it down into workflow systems. Now, management systems, remember, it's when we talk about systems is exercise, right? It's routine. What do you do on a regular basis? We had the guy running on a treadmill because we want to see a culture that's healthy, right? We want to see a culture that has routine and discipline, that do the same things regularly to keep getting better, improve their standards. But they don't have to improve their standards, you know, by huge steps, but improve little increments every day. Now, that little increments every day, that practice is what's going to lead you into becoming that striving continuous improvement organization. It's not necessarily the huge transformations of changing everything. So just to define it, the framework that guides how an organization is led and operated. So every organization has to adopt a certain type of management system that enterprise-wide agree upon. The key points, again, incremental betterment, making sure you're getting better with time, inclusive effort, rapid learning. You want to have an organization through this type of exercising that they're also experimenting and learning. Like Jean-Pierre was mentioning, you're learning from what you're doing. Now, the major example I can give to you regarding this is how organizations do their meetings. Now, management systems, we often connect them with the way we do meetings, because I'm sure all of you have examples of meetings that you attend and there's no agenda, they're disorganized, you wonder why you were invited. You know, there's a lot of meetings like that in corporations. Now, in continuous improvement, one of the things we attack the most is how we operate meetings. Meetings are synchronized. That should be the example that we have across departments, emphasizing real-time updates, collaborative problem solving, standardized practice, and ongoing operational enhancements. Like, you want your meetings to be, you know, following a certain agenda that tackles key points, right? And not only one department does it, but everybody in the organizations follows a similar standard of agenda, and that they focus on those key elements like communication, recognition, problem solving, right? Teamwork, like what are we doing in terms of our team here. So we're gonna, you know, as we're jumping back and forth, now we're in the football or soccer example, and you know, Coach Bob, he's trying to put a standard agenda for his team, and the idea of the standard agenda, it's a 15-minute stand-up meeting where he needs to put some key points where he wants all his team, all the teams that he's coaching, follow the same kind of agenda, because he wants to make sure that he emphasizes on key points. Now, if I go back to the first thing we did in Matt in the presentation, we talked about certain measures as well that we wanted to achieve, right? So what are key important things that you want to cover in that agenda? Now, what's important is people, process, and purpose, right? In a continuous improvement organization. But how would you practice this on a day-to-day basis within a meeting agenda? Now, throw me a few, and then other people can tag along, Matt.
Okay, something along the lines of what did we do yesterday
Perfect.
that
Yeah,
we need to improve on?
absolutely. So yesterday's or last event, whatever the game was, performance. Absolutely. So you can kind of look at that, and then you can look at you're looking at the performance, but you're also looking at what are the, let's say, the problem solving, right? Like what can we improve, basically. Is that correct? Did I get these 2 points well?
Yeah.
Okay. What else can we tag? And it could be Matt, could be someone else. Matt, if you're feeling good and you want to continue.
I'll chuck one last one in, just reiterating the goals that we're going for.
Yeah, absolutely. So reiterate, because that's a part of the purpose we're trying to get, right? So we want to reiterate the goals. Absolutely. Okay. Anything else? I think you've tackled a few very good ones right off the bat. So yeah, we got the problem solving, definitely carries on the process and the people and the process. And so we got the purpose. So these are good. Anybody else wants to add something else? So yesterday's performance, maybe we can add from yesterday's performance, we can add recognition as well, right? And possible communications. So this could be standard, and by practicing this again brings in a lot of improvements in the organization, just by emphasizing some of these key points within the organization. All right, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt, for this. All right, we'll keep moving along. We have the workflow system. So we want to, the workflow system is the same concept. We want to exercise, but we want to exercise making improvements on the processes. So in the beginning, we emphasized our behaviors on how we meet and how we communicate. Now we want to make sure that our process are very tight, that we streamline the work by focusing on efficiency, quality, and continuous improvement. The key points there is you want to provide clarity in how tasks and processes are executed. You want to highlight where the inefficiencies and bottlenecks are, and you want to enable a systemic identification and elimination of waste. So you want to keep, basically you want to have every process well identified and written out. Who would be a coach that can help us help Coach Bob create a process to onboard a new staff member. So he has an issue that whenever he gets new staff members, he's kind of random about it, and it causes so many issues. So once and for all, he's trying to create a standard. So let's say, look, if we had to create like 4 steps for this.
Yeah, I can go ahead.
Yeah,
all right.
thanks, Michael.
It's
Michael.
important to have a plan for the new members.
Okay,
training plan.
Exactly, very good. So let's start with the training plan. So as soon as they come, Bob is organized that he's gonna make sure that step 1, the training plan is done. Then, and Michael, we'll keep it very high level for now, just so we.
Okay, the second step is to follow up with this member and see how much of the information that he got, like to review after 1 week, 2 weeks.
Follow up and validate.
Yeah.
Validate. Yeah. Okay. And then
you can start to delegate some stuff to the new
delegate.
members.
Yeah, delegate tasks. Okay. And then maybe
evaluate.
Evaluate. Very nice, Michael. You're down to the point. Good. So what you want to do is to do this for every single process in your organization, because you want to start with something And because you have a system in place, you're just going to keep improving that standard. So you'll find what is not working, you're going to get feedback, and you're going to keep improving it from there. So it's a constant learning, right? We're constantly learning. I'll go back to what Jean-Pierre said in the beginning. We want to create that learning as one of our principles to create a learning organization. This, which is we want to create a set of tools. Now, really, tools in continuous improvement is another way of saying a common language for solving problems across an organization. Okay, now it's a unified framework. We consistently use this terminology. We all understand it. We all agree about it. It's a collaborative practice. In Lean Six Sigma, it's a known one that is data-driven methodology for process improvement, waste reduction. But you know, some organization they focus more on the agile, which is flexible project management approach, emphasizing also collaboration, iterative development, and adaptability. And some organizations choose to combine both. It could be detail. What's important is the alignment and the agreement on what is it that the problem solving approach that we're going to be using. That wants to, is there any of the learners that's on the call that can help Kim to solve the soccer problem of players always being offside? So we're going to use a little small easy framework that we can use across the organization.
Okay, Gaby, for the player that's always on offside, so we need to train. We need to train him.
Yeah.
Watch for the striker to train him to watch the last person of the defense. So it's training first thing.
So first is, you know, we understand that, you know, there's a problem and they're always offside. And what we're gonna we do as an action and do is we're gonna put a training plan.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how well did our plan work? So you come back and you check a few, you know, a day later or 2 days later after you put that training plan, how well did it work? Did we achieve our goal?
By the result, if he's not in offside again, so it means there is an improvement. Yeah.
So the results of game after offside record, and then we say, and then we add, and then what we do is what should we improve the process and outcome in the future? So how can we improve that? What can we act upon to make any improvements after? Then we make, what would you think? The last thing, what changes can we make?
Have some video training.
Exactly. Very good. So I guess you guys are all athletes. Video training to review tape and then make adjustments, and then it's a constant loop. So this is a very simple world-class methodology, and it's a framework. It doesn't have to be so complicated. This is something that everybody, all the employees could use. Takes 5 minutes training, but it actually is scientific thinking. Okay, great. Thanks for the participation. So just to take on, just to emphasize a few points that we talked about, I want us to draw your attention to where we're heading with a continuous improvement organization. Now, in order for you to really build a continuous improvement organization that is bringing ongoing improvements, sustainable and scalable, do not be fooled by anybody that sells you some sort of digital transformation. It is not sufficient to do that in this day and age. You need 3 major things to be embedded at high maturity. You need tools, you need systems, and you need principles. And believe you me, like only very few organizations accomplish that. And the reasons why is they get stuck at the first level, which is just the tools. Now, if I would give you PDCA, which is this, and I would just give you that to begin with, here's the tools, without having the exercising and the discipline and the behavior in the organization, without having the sponsor to put it in your heart and soul and spirit and repeat the principles constantly, chances are your organization will not be able to embed that culture. right? So they'll be stuck at this point with very minimum results, and in fact, they're going to be losing a lot. Now, what you want is to build this over time, and that's why we call it a journey. It's not a project. Some organizations started wrong to begin with. They call it a project. We're going to do a continuous improvement project. Right off the back, you know that this is wrong. You want it to be a journey. It's something that we're going to work towards, and we're going to build upon these maturities over time. By looking at this diagram, I mean, this is a proven diagram where it shows how organizations are. If I walk into any organization today without continuous improvement, I could already spot, 100 elements that show why they're unstable. Okay. Now, if I go into bring it into stability, this is going to take some projects, and it's going to take a system to bring it into place. But then if I want them to reach where improvements is improving, productivity year over year by 10 to 25%, then I know that high maturity is what's needed. And that's where the principles, where, the sponsors embedded some of the behaviors. Now, this part, and if you see this diagram where you see the curve going down here, that's all these continuous improvement initiatives or improvements initiatives that happen, and then companies became, it didn't work out and it got worse over time. This slide, just in a 1 minute, in order to go back to what our first discussion was, to reach our objectives and strive for it, your driver, your enabler in your organization is continuous improvement. It's building the tools, the people, the process, and the purpose, assuring to get to where you want to get to. GoLeanit is here to help you. It's new. We're going to help you through consulting. We're going to give you services. We do give enterprise-wide specialized programs. And we have a learning management system with Lean Six Sigma suite of all the Lean Six Sigma training and globally accredited certifications at self-paced. We also have 10,000 micro learning for business skills, software skills, career development, financial literacy, banking, compliance, and so much more. So it's easy to be a part of. We can also customize it for your organization. And we have operational excellence solution. It's proven experience, in lean initiatives. So we want you to call us, we want you to book a call. The website is easy to get to. It's at goleanit.com. You have all the access to the contact information. You can book us a call. In every slide we have, you have opportunities to book us a call. Just put your name and information. It's quite simple. Any questions?
Hey, Gaby, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You had a slide toward the end with a graph that went up, and there were some percentages mentioned above the graph.
Yes.
What do the percentages represent? That one.
So yeah, the percentage is reaching a world-class continuous improvement organization is like 10% of companies that actually strive to have a continuous improvement program. To reach actually where you have ongoing improvement is only 10% of them that make it, right? Because it requires people to do it the right way. And I can't tell you enough how the majority of organizations that start a continuous improvement program, they spend so much money to do it incorrectly. I can't tell you enough about how many organizations got worse with digital transformation, got worse because they went straight to something that thinking that this is going to be a magical plug-in. Oh, we're going to just plug this in and we're going to be improving. But no, you have to engage your employees. You have to develop your employees. You have to make, so all of the things we spoke about makes you a part of the 10%. So I want you to be a part of the 10%. I don't want you to be doing what the rest of the world is doing. We're here to be striving for excellence. And I don't want you to fall in the pitfall that a lot of people are doing and spending their hard-earned money for their organization to go backwards, basically.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Guys, I appreciate you coming to this first event of GoLEANit. This is encouraging, and you know, hopefully we can have more to come, more topics. And if you do have suggestions of topics, also please send us some of your suggestions. Go on GoLEANit.com and send me your comments, and I'll be happy to meet up with you one-on-one. I can also meet up with your organization. So if you set up a meeting with your organization, it's going to be free consultation for the initial consultation. We can go up to 2 hours, and I'll be able to give a presentation, and it doesn't matter the number of people that you invite. I'm happy to give like a presentation to your group. And so just please give us the details. Let's connect after and work it out together. So I appreciate your time. Malik, thank you so much for moderating. You're a great moderator.
My pleasure. This was a lot of fun.
World-class moderator. All right.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good one. Take care, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Gaby.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.